Hello viewers, let us have a analysis of Aries Ascendant chart in today's postcard. It's kindly requested to subscribe the channel in order to get notified for the upcoming videos, and believe me that you won't have such podcasts on astrology. It will be a podcast with difference. You visit any YouTube channel, you won't get this quality content on Vedic astrology, and the way I analyze charts and the facts and concrete things pertaining every chart, every ascendant, that I try my best to avail the research based content. The traditional astrology has failed because it's majorly based on the principles which are no more working. That's why most of the natives, they don't get result even after doing the remedies. So I will have other podcast pertaining that topic, but kindly subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. This will be a series of general chart analysis from Aries till Pisces, and I request and I hope that you will share this content with your friends and with those who aim at increasing knowledge of astrology and who aim at to understand the chart analysis and to know most important things about their chart based on their ascendant. So this is an Aries ascendant chart, rising in 21 degrees 12 minutes. So far as the strengths of the chart are concerned, moon is utterly strong, placed in the third house. This is one of the plus point for the native. Jupiter is utterly strong in the 7th house. Venus is quite strong. It's combust, but combustion won't reduce the power of Venus to such an extent in this case, because Sun is a benefic planet here, which is combusting Venus. Sun is also strong, placed in the 11th house. Saturn is also strong in the chart, although it's combust, but its combustion does not make it such weak so as to lose the general significations of Saturn. Mercury is also strong in the chart. However, the weaknesses of the chart are that Rahu is debilitated and Ketu is debilitated. The beauty of chart is that Ketu and Rahu are not giving any afflictions in the chart. This is one of the amazing points in this chart. So Mercury Mahadasha, Rahu Mahadasha, even Ketu Mahadasha, these will be the Mahadashas that will be quite challengeable for the native. The native won't get any peace during these Mahadashas. He won't get any favorable thing out of the Mahadasha of Mercury, Mahadasha of Rahu, and Mahadasha of Ketu as well. So the Mahadashas of these three planets are quite challengeable for the native, being Aries ascendant. However, the challenge in the chart is that the ascendant lord is combust in the 10th house, and it implies that the native will be career oriented, because the ascendant lord is placed in the house of career. So it clearly implies that the native will be career oriented. Let us have the birth details of the chart so as to make you understand. It's 22 Feb 1994, 10:04 Cuttack, Odisha, India. You can note down the latitudes and longitudes as well, so as to cast this chart in order to understand the things that I am describing right now in this podcast, so as to make you understand the main points pertaining an Aries ascendant chart. So the native is going through Saturn Mahadasha right now. It means that the native will have quite gains. Income of the native has been increasing since Mahadasha of Saturn. Saturn will give amazing favorable results in this Lagna. Always there will be no Sadhasati in this case. It's absurd to describe Sadhasati in case of Aries ascendant. There will be no sadasati like things. However, the native is the in the Antardasha of Rahu since October 1724, and this is the period of full of challenges. Why? Because Rahu is debilitated, and debilitation has taken place in the 8th house. So it is a period which is disturbed for the native. The native will face difficulties with respect to black magic, with respect to mental disturbances, and with respect to the aspects that Rahu is doing. However, the beauty of the chart is that Rahu does not give any afflictions in the chart, because the chart is rising at 21 degrees 12 minutes. And so far as the transit is concerned, in the transit Rahu is placed in the 12th house and Ketu is placed in the 6th house, and in the transit itself there are challenges because the Lagna Lord is debilitated and Rahu is giving afflictions to Mars in the transit. So this is a time period which is challengeable for the native. However, there are proper remedies, accurate remedies, gem therapy is there to control Rahu 100%. This is my opinion, and in fact in most of the Aries ascendant chart where Rahu has been creating problems since most of the years for the native, I have controlled Rahu completely. In most of the cases I have controlled Ketu as well with the help of gem therapy. I'll be coming with gem therapy podcast for the in the upcoming videos rather. Do comment how did you like this podcast, and how different you found this podcast. What are the weaknesses of this podcast, and what I am lagging behind in presenting the content pertaining each and every chart. As an Aries ascendant native, you should put your comment on this chart analysis right now that I'm doing. That will help me a lot, and do comment that on what topic pertaining to Aries ascendant chart you just drop your opinion in the comment section, so that I will improve accordingly. I'll try my best to upload podcasts pertaining those topics regarding this ascendant. So Mercury Mahadasha is upcoming. That won't give any difficulties for this native. Anyhow, there will be disputes and debts with respect to, there will be litigations with respect to the income streams. However, the best thing about this chart is that Saturn, being the Lord of 11th house, is placed in its own house, isn't it? Saturn is placed in Aquarius. This is one of the unique things in this chart, and Sun is also placed in the 11th house. Lord of 5th house is placed in the 11th house. It means that the native will have quite favorable gains from the government sector, and the native will have quite good gains, extremely good gains from the investments, isn't it? Because the 5th house and the 11th house are closely linked with each other, and the dispositor of 11th house is placed in its own house. So the dispositor of Mercury, dispositor of Sun, and dispositor of Venus is placed in its own house, and it's not linked with any house. So most of the planets, that is the 11th house lord and 7th house lord, 5th house lord, and 6th house lord, they are directly linked with an 11th house, and 11th house is not linked with any other house. So this beauty is not seen in any chart. It's in few and rare charts we are able to see such yoga and such combination which is visible in this chart. However, the challenge in the chart is that the Mars, which is the Lagna Lord and which is the prime determinant of career in this Lagna, is in the old age and is in the combustion. That is a challenge for the native. And Jupiter is aspecting the Lagna, which is one of the amazing blessing for the native, and the Lagna rises in the nakshatra of Venus. This is again one of the amazing things, because Venus is quite strong. It is again giving strength to the ascendant lord, but the ascendant lord being in weakness is impeding the native from achieving success in the life. Moon is placed in the 3rd house, being the lord of 4th house placed in the 3rd house, that there will be tendency for the native to take initiatives with respect to creating assets in life, isn't it? The native is quite happy in taking initiatives with respect to the creation of assets, with respect to making home, and with respect to caring his mother. So Saturn Mahadasha will be a blessing for the native that is going on. However, the native should always keep in mind that Rahu Mahadasha will be a disturbing factor. Mercury Mahadasha will be a disturbing factor, and Ketu Mahadasha, in this case, Ketu being a debilitation, will be a cause of concern for the native. However, there are accurate remedies. Gem therapy is one of the best remedy to go through, which helps the native come out of the problems and correct the deficiencies and the lags which he faces from the Mahadasha of, or the Antardasha of Rahu. And one of the important points that should be noted, that as is visible in this case, for example, the native is under the sub period of Rahu in the Antardasha of Rahu. This is disastrous because 80% of the results are achieved in the Antardasha. Although Mahadasha Lord is extremely important, it's an undeniable fact that Mahadasha plays an important role. But so far as the distribution of the results, fructification of the results are concerned, it is 20:80. That is 20% of the results, because Mahadasha is the driving force. But 80% of the results, are yielded in the Antardasha. That's why, as per my opinion, as I have analyzed most charts of most of the clients, that so far as the Aries Ascendant natives are concerned, that Antardasha of Rahu or Antardasha of Mercury, it gives 80% results. Now 80% results of Rahu, that is the disturbance with respect to Rahu, are evident in this chart. So how to control Rahu and how to remedize Rahu in this time period, because it's a time period till 2027, August 24-27. So it is a challenge. From 24 August 2027, the time period for the native is going to be happier. Why? Because it's Antardasha of Jupiter that will be coming, and Jupiter is placed in the 7th house, and it is influencing 7th house, it's influencing Lagna, it's influencing 11th house, it's influencing 3rd house. It's giving a favorable aspect to moon itself rather. So this is one of the beautiful yoga in this chart that is quite visible. And the dispositor of Jupiter is placed in the 11th house, and the dispositor of 11th house is itself placed in its own house, that's Aquarius. So again, the Antardasha of Jupiter from 2027 to 2030, that will be extremely gainful for the native. The native will be quite wealthy in this time period. He will have much gains rather. So after that, Mercury Mahadasha will start. What will be the nature of, I am not going to, because this is not Mahadasha podcast at all. I'll be upcoming for Aries Ascendant Mahadashas separately in the upcoming podcast. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon, and share these podcasts with your friends in order to make them happy, and in order to make them aware, and in order to increase their knowledge about Vedic astrology. So thank you.